Good morning, sir. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number, please, sir.
Derrick Gumms, 529-899.
Mr. Gumms, good morning. This is a rehearing for you, so you're familiar with the process. So let me just read the identifying information. Mr. Gumms, you're classified as a third felony offender. You're currently serving a 20-year sentence. Racketeering as a habitual offender, distribution of cocaine, and attempted distribution of cocaine as a habitual offender, attempted distribution of heroin. Your parole eligibility date is February 26, 2022. Your good time date is March 3rd, 2034. We have here on your behalf, I think we have your girlfriend. Oh, she's watching on YouTube. Oh, she's in the meeting. Okay, Tyone Hayes. She'll be speaking on your behalf. We also have a representative from the DA's office in Jefferson, Mr. Meyer, who will be also be speaking at the appropriate time. Is all the information I read about your crime and your sentence? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were denied in 2021, right? My notes indicate the reason stated at that time for your denial was your criminal history, you had insufficient time served, there was opposition expressed, and you had a poor supervision history.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your recollection? That's how you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
And I also saw a note somewhere that said you needed to work on your high set, but then later in your record, it looks like you may have gotten your GED in 2020.
No, ma'am. I got 2 more parts I got to complete.
Okay, so you're in it now. You're enrolled now. Okay, so you're working. Okay, good. Prior to your last hearing, you had done living in balance, think for change, and 100 hours. What programs? I know you're working on your high set. Are there any other programs you were involved in since the last hearing in 2021?
No, ma'am. I took out to Poco. That's the last to Poco. That's the last program I took out.
Okay. So how long, my notes, Mr. Gumms, indicate you were around 14 at your first arrest. Is that right?
I'm sorry, say again, Ms. Renatson.
My record says that, or indicates rather, that Mr. Gumms was about 14 years of age at his first arrest.
14.
Is that right?
14 years old when you're done with the first arrest.
Oh, no, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
How old are you? How old are you?
16.
16. And what were you arrested for?
Distribution, marijuana.
So when did you start your involvement in selling drugs?
Around the age
How
in 2016, when I got arrested in 16, when I was 16, the first time.
No. Well, and you were involved with a gang, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
I think Harvey Hustlers. What do you think it was that led you to get involved with a gang?
Really just being a follower.
You were a follower?
Yes, ma'am. Just really being a follower.
And with some of your family also
Yes,
involved?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 2 brothers and 2 nephews.
Okay. So you were 16 in 2007, I believe. That's when you pled guilty to distribution of cocaine.
Yes, ma'am.
In 2008, while you were on probation, which I guess you might have been 17 at this time, you pled guilty to illegal carrying of weapons.
Yes, ma'am.
In 2009, you pled guilty to possession of marijuana, which revoked your probation, and then you were sentenced to, 6 years? You were released on good time a couple of years later in 2011, and shortly thereafter, less than a year, You were arrested again and later pled guilty again to a convicted felon with a firearm or weapon. You got another, 5-year sentence. You were good timed out. That was revoked. And then in 2015, you were released on good time again in 2014, and in 2015, you were arrested for this charge.
Yes, ma'am.
So what concerns me is you keep getting out, going back to do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yes, ma'am. Really, being a follower, really, I didn't take up a lot of programs to better myself as a man.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us what program you took that meant the most to you and why.
Really, the last program I took really meant the most to Popo as a class called Only Person You Cheated Yourself. And I learned about just being a follower. Really messed my record up.
Messed your record up?
Yeah, and rest of my history, really.
So I do see you. How long have you been in jail? About 8 years?
8 years and a half.
8.5 years of a 20-year sentence. And it is you don't, how many write-ups you had?
None?
None?
No, ma'am, none.
Oh, one. Mine says one. My notes. 2017.
17.
Don't remember that?
That's right, they just threw it out. It's supposed to be on my record. They just threw it out.
So on 28 days, anything.
Yep.
2017.
Okay. Yeah, what's your job assignment there?
Trustee,
Yeah, but what do you do all day?
work in the field. Do
Work in the
field.
field,
Yes, ma'am, do field work.
outside the gate?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you mean field work?
Cut grass and plant.
Do you kind of work in the lawn, on the lawn? On the
No.
grounds?
I already know it's cutting grass around the compound and planting seed, planting food.
Flowers? You having a hard time telling me what you do are you enrolled in any programs now other than the GED?
I'm taking over a mentee program.
A mentee program? Tell me about that program.
I got a mentor be coming speak to me every week.
Oh, good. Where's the program? What is your plans whenever should you be successful today, what would be your plan? Where would you live? How would you support yourself? How would you stay out of trouble?
I got a nice family support. I got a job lined up for me. And I got some goals to try to start my own grass cutting company, my business.
You have family support, but did you have family support all your life?
It's been up and down, really.
Where would you live?
I got a girlfriend, tell you I live with her.
Where does she live?
She's living in Mororo right now at this moment.
Is that the same area where you got in all this trouble?
No, ma'am. The area is Harvard. I was staying in Harvard.
Well, how far is that?
It's a nice little distance.
No, it's not far. Why do you think we ought to take a chance on you?
Because I'm not the same man I once was when I first got incarcerated 8 years ago. I feel like I'm a changed man now. I know how to think for myself now.
So you're not a follower, is that what you're trying to say?
That's mine. I got plans and goals now. And I know what I want out of life.
What do you want out of life?
Trying to start my own business and support my family.
Do you have any children?
Oh man, I got a girl. I got a little daughter I raised when she was 1 with my girl before I came to jail.
How old is she?
She like
Now.
9 years old, 9, like 10 years old now.
All right. Good. Gordon, is there anything you can share with us about Mr. Gumms?
I know I interviewed Derrick the other day. He's kind of like, he doesn't articulate well. You gotta dig it out of him, but he's been a trustee here for a little over a year. They basically, his crew is, they do the groundskeeping and we use them to put plants out in the garden. I do have a letter from Miss Looper, the education coordinator, about his high set. She's basically saying he started in this program in 2011. He's worked his way through. It's been difficult for him. He's got 3 parts of the high set and he's working toward getting the other 2, but he's taking it 1 part at a time because according to her, it seems like he learns better that way.
Okay, good. Thank you. Mr. Roche has a question.
Mr. Gum,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gum, I'm from Harvey, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
I was raised in Harvey, Louisiana. Harvey, Westwego, Gretna is one community. They're stone's throw from each other. Don't sit there and tell us something that's not true.
Yes, sir.
Harvey and Marrero is one community. Harvey hustlers operated in Harvey, Gretna, Marrero, and Westwego.
Yes, sir.
So don't sit there and tell us something that's not true.
Yes, sir.
One question is, if you're living in Marrero and the Harvard hustlers operate in that territory, how are you going to deal with meeting and associating with your old friend?
I got plans on moving to Texas real soon when I get out. So me and my girl got plans on moving to Texas real soon. She got us.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
I have one question.
Okay.
So, Mr. Gumms, when I was looking at your certificates, you had several of them, 20, 21, and 22, about being a mentee. So are you a mentee or, so you are being mentored in these certificates, right? You were
Yes, ma'am.
mentored.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means you stayed in contact with your mentor and you cooperated.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. So you had a mentor for what, about 4 years? How many years?
It's been like 3 years now since I've really been here.
Okay, good. Yeah, I said 20, 21, and 22. Well, I just want to encourage you to keep that up. That's good. I'm glad that the institution is providing that one-on-one. That's all I had.
Okay. Let's see, we'll hear from the DA's office again at this time. Mr. Meyer.
Good morning, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA in Jefferson, and we remain opposed to Mr. Gumms' parole. He's only served 8 of a 20-year sentence. He hadn't complied with everything that we're wanting him to obtain at the last hearing. He is a trustee, which is good, but he has not yet finished his GED. He was a gang member of a very violent gang, and he's moved back to the same area. That concerns me. His response to how he was gonna, stay away from the gang and live a life free of crime. He said he's got family support. Well, a number of his family members were gang members, which he's stated here today. And none of his family support is here today at this hearing. And again, he will be returning to the same general area where that gang was very active. He has a poor record under supervision. The record shows he's backlogged for AA and NA. So he hasn't taken those courses, although he did take living in balance. Since the last hearing, he's only taken the 100 hours. He's got those mentee certificates, which I think this is the first time I've seen those certificates. I'm not really sure what those are. And since his arrest, the only courses he has taken, only programs he has taken is living in balance, thinking for a change, in 100 hours. So I don't see where these courses have prepared him to no longer be a follower and to be a leader, and to not go back and follow the same family members and gang members that he was associated with before. So for those reasons, we are opposed to his request.
All right, then, Mr. Gumms, is there something you'd like to say to us before we vote?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to say, by me moving to Marrero, I still got an address going to Texas real soon. To be at this moment, me and my girl got a spot, an address in Texas. Like, I'm not gonna really be in New Orleans that long.
Do you have family in Texas?
Yes, ma'am. I gotta go, mother.
All right, anything else you'd like us to know?
And I'd like to apologize to my community for selling drugs, messing my community up, and the families I hurt.
Well, good. I'm glad you say that. All right, I think we are prepared to vote. Mr. Gumms, I'll be voting first. Mr. Gumms, I like what the warden said about you. I find it hard for you to get information from you this morning. It's hard for you to express yourself, I believe, and I know you're nervous. I do share the same concerns that Mr. Meyer has expressed. Now, we do know in the record that you had many family members who you followed gang activity. You are going back to the same locale. I'm not willing to approve you for that. You've been a trustee and you're doing well for just a year, but I do think you have some more work to do to convince us that you are prepared to not be a follower anymore. So based on the opposition that's been expressed this morning, and based on the fact that you don't have an acceptable residence plan, my vote today is to deny parole. I would recommend you go ahead and start working on an out-of-state plan and submit that through the process. Maybe Ms. Hayes can help you do that, so that the next time you are up for a hearing, you can say with confidence, I'm not going back to Herrera. I'm not going back to Jefferson Parish. I'm going to Texas. But for me today, my vote today is to deny. Mr. Rush.
Mr. Gumms, my vote is the same for the same reasons with the same recommendation.
Mrs. Wise.
Derrick, I'm impressed with how you are doing better. You are owning yourself. I encourage you to continue again with the mentor. I mean, you're a member of the press club, so you've been doing a lot of positive things. Keep it up. But for me today, I would like to see you go ahead and get that high set before you get out. So my vote is to deny and urge you to reapply after you finish that high set. And again, have that transfer to Texas so you can get a clean start. Best wishes to you, sir.
All right, sir. Today, today's your parole. Your parole's been denied. We're giving you some tips on what you need to do. Good luck to you, sir.